Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Emily and I do a lot of painting and drawing, and I just want to share this with you on my YouTube channel. Obviously this is a sped up version of this painting, but if you would like to learn more painting and drawing, then head over to my website and you'll find all of the tutorials there. Generally I start by tracing my image or my reference photo onto my watercolor paper. This has a couple of benefits. It's less likely to damage your watercolor paper because you're not erasing dark lines or anything like that. You're just tracing onto your watercolor paper and then you can get painting basically. It's also convenient. It's also very, it's nice sometimes just to get started on your painting. And there's always time for sketching, of course. If you would like to see more sketching, I'm very happy to do that too and teach you how to do that as well. So I start off by adding a very transparent layer or multiple layers over the painting, just building up each layer to make it more opaque as you go along. And there's lots of different techniques and things that I can teach while I'm going through each tutorial. In this one, I'm adding a little bit of salt to the brown color of the duck, just to give that impression of texture and a little bit of interest, like adding interest to the painting where I can. And on the neck, it's really white. Obviously it's a white color and it's a white piece of paper. So to bring the white to life in your paintings, I teach you how to add really transparent layers of color and quite a number of different colors. I use blues and purples and all these different colors, which might surprise you when you're thinking of white. But that's how I add depth and shape to white subjects. They're quite fun to paint, I feel. At this stage, I'm adding more layers to the beak. Definitely on birds, you want to make sure that the beak looks right because it's so important, such an important aspect of a duck. And so we look carefully at the shape of the beak and the different colors and values that you would place in different areas of the beak. Generally, you'll look at darker colors at the top of the beak and where it's attached to the head, and then at the end of the beak as well. They're quite dark colors on the beak and values, and so you play around with that, and you want to find or learn how to get a very natural looking beak when you're painting birds. I love painting birds. Another aspect that I focus on in my tutorials are the eyes. Obviously the eyes are so important, and they're most of the time they're the focal point of every painting or drawing that you would do. So it's really important to take a lot of time and care in painting the eyes. I also like to take a lot of breaks while I'm working. I generally take a break every half an hour or so, especially when you're doing important details like the beak or the eye. It's really good idea to step away from your painting, grab a cup of tea or a snack or something, and then come back to your painting, and you'll find, obviously it's good to let your layers dry in between doing different layers, and then also taking that time away from your painting gives you a new aspect when you come back, and you can see where you may be missing shadows, or you may have missed painting part of the image in, I think I haven't painted the cheek on the duck, and I do notice that when I come back from my break. So there I'm painting the cheek in there. So yeah, breaks are very important when it comes to painting watercolor. And the great thing about watercolor is that you almost need to force yourself to take a break, because there is time that you need to let it dry. And you can use techniques and tools to dry it quickly with heat tools and things like that, but I do believe it is better to let it dry naturally rather than with heat tools. I hope I've been able to provide you with some tips in your watercolor journey with just a snippet of my process, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.